Atoms are the fundamental elements that comprise all matter in the universe. They consist of three main components: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons have a positive charge. Neutrons have a neutral charge, and electrons have a negative charge. These components form the nucleus of the atom while the electrons orbit it. Understanding atomic structure is essential in understanding the physical and chemical properties of all substances. Atoms are the foundation of all matter, making an understanding of their structure immensely important. Comprising of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons and neutrons are situated in the nucleus, whereas electrons orbit in energy levels. This structure helps to comprehend the properties of elements and how they interact in chemical reactions. At the core of an atom is its nucleus containing protons and neutrons. Ernest Rutherford identified protons as particles with positive electrical charge in 1917, and James Chadwick identified neutron, the particle with no electrical charge, in 1932. Beyond the nucleus are electrons, which are negatively charged particles. Electrons orbit the nucleus with their speed near to that of light. Protons, neutrons, and electrons altogether form the components of an atom. Protons are a crucial component of atomic structure, possessing a positive charge and a mass, which is combined with the mass of neutrons to form the nucleus of an atom. It is the amount of protons that primarily determines the element and its chemical and physical properties. Grasping the fundamentals of atomic structure and the specifics of protons is necessary to comprehending the basic elements of matter. Neutrons are found in the nucleus of an atom alongside protons, and unlike protons, they have no electrical charge. They are slightly heavier than protons and are responsible for the stability of the atom. Their ability to form chemical bonds is also different from that of protons. Learning about the properties of neutrons is a necessary step to gain a better understanding of how atoms work. Electrons have an important place in atoms and are an important part of chemistry and physics. Electrons have a negative charge, and this charge is responsible for chemical bonding and electrical conductivity. They also have a more mysterious role, as they are subject to wave-particle duality and are understood only by theories of quantum mechanics. Without electrons, our ideas and thinking about the world would be very different. Atoms are the most basic unit of matter, having three components that form its structure. Protons carrying a positive charge, neutrons with no charge, and electrons with a negative charge. The protons and neutrons are situated in the nucleus at the center of the atom, while the electrons orbit around the nucleus in different energy levels. This structure gives us insight into the essential makeup of atoms and helps us understand the physical world. At the heart of every atom is its nucleus, made up of protons and neutrons. Protons with a positive electric charge and neutrons with no electric charge are the two subatomic particles that form the nucleus. Like magnets, protons attract electrons, particles with a negative electric charge, to the atom's outer shell. This arrangement of particles creates a system of energy which allows atoms to interact with each other and form molecules. Understanding the components of atoms and their interactions is essential for how we perceive and interact with the world around us. The nucleus at the core of all atoms is composed of protons and neutrons, two of the basic components of atoms. An electron cloud, which holds the other basic component of atoms, electrons, surrounds this nucleus. Electrons always move around and can shift from one energy level, which can be thought of as a region around the nucleus, where the probability of finding an electron is highest, to another. At the heart of an atom are protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons and neutrons make up the nucleus of an atom, and the electrons orbit the nucleus. The atomic number is the number of protons in an atom. This number is also the same as the number of electrons in a neutral atom. The atomic mass is the total mass of an atom, and is a combination of the masses of its protons and neutrons. Protons, neutrons, and electrons are the building blocks of atoms. Understanding their workings is essential to comprehending atomic structure. Protons exist within the nucleus and hold the power to set an element's atomic number. Neutrons in the nucleus as well work to lend stability to the atom. Electrons, on the other hand, are negative particles that orbit the nucleus, thus playing an important role in establishing an element's chemical properties. All three are essential to atomic structure. Atoms are the basic components of all matter. They are composed of three essential particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. The nucleus of an atom is formed by the protons and neutrons, while electrons are found occupying the space around the nucleus. Every element has a distinct arrangement of protons, neutrons, and electrons, which is referred to as its electron configuration. This helps us to understand the chemical properties of elements. To understand the basics of atomic structure, it is important to first get familiar with the main particles in an atom. Atomic structure is fundamental in understanding the periodic table. Valence electrons are the electrons located in the outermost shell of an atom. These electrons are vital to consider when analyzing chemical reactivity, as they dictate the ability of an atom to bond with other atoms. This reactivity is critical in understanding why elements interact with each other in the manner that they do. The periodic table organizes atoms into periods and groups. Each period is a row, and each group is a column. Groups signify elements with similar properties. For example, Group 1 elements are the alkali metals, while Group 7 elements are the halogens. Comprehending the shapes in the periodic table is key for grasping the shape of atoms. Protons, neutrons, and electrons are the smallest components of matter known as atoms. These are held together by an electromagnetic force. The number of electrons and their arrangement in the atom's energy level decide the type of bond created between two atoms: covalent, ionic, or metallic. Understanding the structure of atoms is key to understanding the formation of chemical bonds. Atoms are the fundamental units of matter, composed of three components: protons with a positive electrical charge, electrons with a negative charge, and neutrons with no electrical charge. These components form the atom's nucleus and are surrounded by electron shells, with the arrangement of these components determining their chemical properties. Comprehension of the structure of atoms is vital to understanding the nature of matter. Atoms are the building blocks of essentially everything in our world. We have gone through details of atoms such as protons, neutrons, and electrons, and the building blocks of atomic structure. Once we grasp the key elements, we can understand how atoms interact and create structures that form everything we see around us. This knowledge is widely utilized to drive forward innovative technology in fields like chemistry, materials, science, nanotechnology, nuclear energy, and medical imaging. By modifying atomic structure, tremendous materials are created with exclusive properties, such as superconductors and semiconductors. An in-depth comprehension of atomic structure provides us the capability to develop new technologies which can enhance our lives. Thank you.